అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. సర్వేభ్యः నమో నమః. Today is the last week of the 3 months advanced level 2 certificate course on Sanatana Dharma. So there is an important milestone now. We are reaching the end, last lap now. These 3 days, CSR Prabhu Garu will give some more insight into yoga theory and also some practice. Just to recollect, we have had more than 2.5 months of course already over. First 2 months, we have covered all topics connected with Sanatana Dharma more in detail. We already had a course on basics of all these topics. Now we have gone into advanced level. Now this course is finishing on 28th of this month. We are going to have valedictory function on 28th. And the next course, the 4th batch of the basic level course will start from 4th of October. We already got around 50 registrations. We are going to have another 50 in next 10 days. Now we will start the session with Vande Mataram and then Prarthana. Okay. Chala Chittibabu garu.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malaya Jasitalam, Sasya Syamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subrajyosna Pulakitayaminim, Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhinim, Suhasinim, Sumadhura Bhashinim, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Namaskar.
Vande Mataram. Now let us request Surya Prakash garu.
नमस्ते सर. सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. एकनिमिषं ध्यानम्. Slowly inhale and slowly exhale. Observe your breathing. Give authorization to your mind not to go elsewhere other than to the class. Observe your breathing. त्रिवारं ओंकारम्. Om. Om. गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवस्रवस्समं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजयभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्र्यवतु। ॐ श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ मातृदेवो भव, ॐ पितृदेवो भव, ॐ आचार्यदेवो भव, ॐ अतिथिदेवो भव। ॐ गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्मि गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः, धन्यवादः।
ధన్యవాదములండి.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
గారు ధన్యవాదములు. Now I will take 1 minute. There is few
first come to this position and keep the leg here. This is called Pada Angushthasana. Balance on one leg. Again, change the leg. Come back to Vajrasana. So during the last sessions, I have already shown you most of the asanas, and today I will be showing you some of the new asanas. Now this is Mandukasana. Sit on the ground with legs stretched sidewards. Then we have the Uttasana. Normally you are doing this exercise, but here we are talking of something more. Sit on this and press both. That is called Uttasana. Come back to Vajrasana. We also have many other asanas like Ashtavakrasana and Gandhabhairundasana. And these are very advanced. I am not shooting to these things. Many of these things require physical presence and practice, a lot of practice. Practice makes perfect. So you keep on practicing, you become more and more perfect. Like for example, now to bend back And then we have already done this. Now this is the Pakshasana. And we also have this one. Go to Shavasana. Okay, get up. Of course, there are more advanced poses like keeping this in the head. You can one leg and both legs. Now it is very difficult, but in practice. Okay, now there are some standing advanced asanas. They are not very advanced, they are somewhat easy. First is Trikonasana, which we've done long back. I'll show once again. Stretch your legs as much as you can and breathe out and bend forward. Breathe out while going down. Breathing while coming in. Look up the inside. Then also converse. Of course, those among you who are young like me, then try this. It is stretching completely. Then there is one very simple asana called Tadasana. Keep your hands in Bharatanatyam pose and lift up. Stretch, lift up your legs and hands simultaneously. This will help in growing height for young children, not for old people. Then there is another asana which is because you cannot catch both legs, you fall down. Then there is one Vimanasana. Right, Vimana, you bend forward. And there is Garudasana. Okay, now go to Shavasana once again. What do we have? Two sentences. Right. Have to center. Okay, now to close the asana session today, we'll perform Shirshasana. It is again advanced and the greatest of all asanas. There are about 150 asanas. So we'll take a kerchief and make it into a cylinder and then make a coil. And then you get like a rope to a coil. And then on this coil, or you can take a towel also and do the same thing. Then you should keep your this upper forehead on this coil and hold the hands on the center of the head, not the other way around. People do all wrongly. So they'll get into deep problems. If you do wrong asanas, you'll get many new problems. Okay, now we'll go for pranayama. Go for sectional breathing. Upper chest. Mid chest. Down. Again, upper chest. So same thing we'll be doing from left to right and right to left. Full breath. Upper, middle, lower. You have to fill up upper first, middle next, lower or abdomen last. And also similarly, breathe out upper first, middle next, and abdomen last. Keep your tongue upside, touching the nose, nostrils, and inside. Deep tongue inside, upside, so that the air in the nostrils will touch the tip of the tongue. And do Soham meditation. So inhalation, hum, exhalation, only feel. So normally we are taking one breath in 4 seconds. Then you inhale and exhale. 2 seconds inhalation, 2 seconds exhalation, that is 4 seconds. So 15 times per minute. That is the normal breathing rate. We calculate, it will become 21,600 for the whole day. But if you reduce the number of breaths, that is increase the span of each breath, then it will become lesser and lesser. So at the rate of 21,600 per day, it has been calculated your lifespan, human lifespan. So if you increase the longevity of the breath, then the lifespan will be increased. That is lesser number of breaths, that means longer breaths per minute. That means your lifespan will be accordingly, proportionately increased. If your breathing is very fast, then your lifespan will be reduced. Normally we are doing very fast, faster than 4 seconds per minute. So this so hum goes on. It is called hum so. So this is the Hamsa. That is Shiva. That is Hamsa. Hamsaya vidmahe paramahamsaya dhimahi. Tanno Hamsa prachodayat. Hamso nama sada Shivaha. In the Mahanyasam, I suggest all of you go through the Mahanyasam audio or whatever. You will understand what I am telling better. Deho devalaya prokto Jivo Devasanatanaha Tyaje Rajnana Nirmalyam Soham Bhavena Pujayet. So this is a puja, Soham puja. So to remove the ajnana, you will discover your true nature, which is divine. All beings are divine, but they are not able to realize it. The long deep breath, Soham, the longer you sit, the longer your lifespan will increase. So this is called Khechari Mudra, tongue going up and touching the nostrils inside planet. Those who achieve perfection, of course, we cannot achieve perfection, it's very difficult. Whatever you try, it will be very, very basic or even not even basic. Those who achieve perfection will achieve siddhis. The first siddhi will be reduction of thirst and hunger. Whenever you feel thirsty or hungry, keep your tongue upside near the nostrils. Then the air which is coming from nostrils will evaporate the saliva on the tongue. It will result in cooling, just like Sitali Pranayama or Sitkari Pranayama. So that cooling will reduce the thirst and it will also reduce the hunger if it is continued for a longer time. That is the first siddhi you can get. And then the real word meaning Khechari means flying in air. Khechara. Ka is Akasha, K means in Akasha, Chara is moving. So yogis were able to fly. It was shown in some of the records and even some old movies also. They showed how the yogi was traveling in air. Of course, I don't expect any one of you to reach that stage or I. So it is a advanced stage. Khechari Mudra only we are doing. We are not executing Khechara, Khechari Siddhi. So many siddhis are there. When the body becomes pure and mind becomes pure and the prana becomes pure, automatically siddhis will come. So, but nobody will should be enamored with the siddhis. Like Ramakrishna Paramhamsa saw one Hatha yogi who was able to walk on water. So that man said, all my life I struggled for this, achieving this. Then Ramakrishna Paramhamsa said, I can just take a boat and cross the river. Why should I struggle all my life? So the siddhis, they are extraordinary powers, but they may not be of great use. Earth-shaking use may not be there, but they will come automatically. My gurus also had some siddhis. My mother also had, like reading mind and telling future automatically. They feel it, sensitivity will be there. So it's the question of purity. The more purity you achieve in your system, the system comprises of the Panchakoshas. Now, other very important point is the Panchakosha structure. We have discussed last time also. So this body which you see, this is Annamaya Kosha. That means it will be fed only with food, Anna. If you stop food, it will die. But then that is only one of the 5 bodies we have. We also have the Pranamaya Kosha, which you are able to experience in Pranayama. In my younger days, when I was doing very intense and advanced Pranayama, I was able to experience pranic body surrounding. In fact, even many pranic healers also experience. You can also experience the pranic body surrounding the physical body around 6 inches. Aura, it's called aura. It is also called plasma. It can be photographed in Kirlian photography, not only for human body, but for all living beings, all animals and plants also. So when the physical body dies or injured, that pranic body will also continue to exist or it may be injured. Like when you cut a leaf, if you take the Kirlian photography, it will appear as if it is continuing, but with some change. So similarly, when the human body dies, for 10 days, the pranic body will remain in the same way. That is why the 10 days karma is performed and after 10th day it leaves. The pranic body is also gone. But the remaining 3 bodies will continue after death also. That is Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha. They will continue after death till the next birth. So the Manomaya Kosha, which is mental body, and the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is intellectual or research body, which we are right now in that level. and Anandamaya Kosha, which is nothing but Ananda. So in the Manomaya Kosha, all the vasanas, or memories, samskaras, desires, they will be carried on to the next life. In the next life will come according to the desires, vasanas, samskaras in the Manomaya Kosha. And the Vijnanamaya Kosha will continue. That's why you find some small children also having great knowledge. I've seen some other Siddha Purushas also. Like one man came to Secunderabad in my childhood. He was a whitewasher from UP. If you speak to him, he will not be able to speak any educated level. He was uneducated, illiterate. But he used to lie down, and then his head used to go like this. He used to get into a trance. So in the trance, he used to go on giving a lecture. And that lecture was very, very advanced, Sanskrit based. So again, after the trance is over, he'll wake up, and if you talk to him, there is nothing, he's just ordinary whitewashing person. So this is the kind of Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha which we have, through which all the intellectual research activities happen. Then we have the Anandamaya Kosha, which is the bliss Ananda. You all know what is Ananda, right? So you all must have experienced Ananda at different times, in different ways. Like you must have experienced Ananda when you got a child or grandchild, or you got a degree, or you got some award. So that Ananda of different levels, Manushananda, Devananda, Devagandharvananda, Pitrananda, Indrananda, we have seen Taittiriya Upanishad. And Brahmananda is the highest. Brahmanandam Paramasukam Kevalandam Dvandvatitam Gaganasatrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Saksham Bhavatitam Trigunarahit Tadgurum Tamnavad. So this Anandamaya Kosha is the true nature, Satchidananda. So by transcending Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and remaining only in Anandamaya Kosha, you are liberated. And in fact, the self is not even Anandamaya Kosha. It is also only a Kosha, that is a cover or a shirt. The last or the most advanced, intense shirt or cover for the self, that is I, myself. So, in fact, if you carefully examine, all living beings are trying for Ananda. If you just see small children, they derive Ananda from simple things like eating ice cream or playing games or going through roller coaster or jumping. And some people get Ananda through singing, music. And some people get Ananda through sports. And some people get Ananda through giving lectures. And some people get Ananda through meditation, absorption. Now, one important point is the karma vasanas, which are coming in the Manomaya Kosha. They penetrate into the lower koshas, that is into the Pranamaya Kosha and the Annamaya Kosha. That is how diseases are created. Purva janma kritam pamam vyadhi rupena pidayet. Tat shantira asanai homai danai. The sins committed in the past lives. Sins means bad samskaras, negative emotions, anger, greed, lust, and all the violence out of anger. All those impressions which are there in the subconscious subliminal layers of the mind, they penetrate into the pranic body and create disturbance in the normal pranic operations. And that pranic body, when it gets disturbed or eroded or modified or damaged partly, it will be reflected in the physical body, in that particular disease or disorder or malady. So, for example, anger leads to high blood pressure and heart disease, and jealousy will lead to another disease like asthma or even diabetes is also caused by some feelings. So, in fact, the word vyadhi is a sandhi of V and adhi. So, if you separate V and adhi, V means vishesha, that is extreme, more. Adhi means mental worry or mental issue. So, if you go on worrying, you will get new diseases. So, that is, they are called psychosomatic disorders. Psycho means mind, soma means body. So all these diseases which we are having today, like diabetes, asthma, high blood pressure, heart disease. Heart disease is not a disease of the heart. It is due to the stress. It is due to the anxiety, due to anger, due to suppressed emotions. So what is happening in our life, whenever we encounter unpleasant situations, there will be a reaction. The reaction will be anger or bursting out, and some people suppress it. So when they suppress it, it will hurt their own health system inside. It will damage their health. Of course, I'm not saying you should burst out. You should maybe in a lonely house shout or abuse whosoever you want in a lonely house, not in the face of that person. If you do that on the face of that person, he will retaliate and there will be physical violence. So the negative emotions, ahankara, mamakara, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, vatsarya, these are the root causes of all problems, as we have seen. And their samskaras or impressions or vasanas or vibrations in the manomaya kosha, carried from the past lives, many past lives, they are entering into the pranic level and the Annamaya kosha level, and they are causing damage. So, in the Panchakosha Shuddhi, so we perform the purification of all the 5 levels in the yoga process. So, in the physical level, the purification is performed by Shatkarmas. We have done the stomach cleaning, we can do intestine cleaning, Shankraprakshalana, and we can do nose cleaning, we can do eyes cleaning. So that is physical. Gross malas, Shatkarma Nirgata Sthaulya, Kafadosha Maladika, Pranayamam Tadakuryat, Anayasena Labhyate, Pranayamena Yuktena, Sarvaroga Kshayo Bhavet. So after removing the gross impurities, we perform the pranayama, which will remove the pranic disturbances. Ayama means regulation, calming down. So those vibrations which are caused by the sins committed, they will be calmed down by pranayama. So by pranayama, the mind not only becomes calm, but the vasanas also will be cleared up by the correct pranayama. Pranayamena yuktena sarvaroga kshayo bhavet. Pranayamena viyuktena sarvaroga samudbhavaha. Similarly, if you do wrong practice of pranayama, opposite of what is correct, then you will get new diseases. Please don't do. It's better not to do any pranayama rather than doing wrongly. I met some people who said they attended some classes. I don't want to tell the name of the organization, some town. Before attending, they were all right, but after finishing the course, the husband got high blood pressure, heart problem, and the wife also got high blood pressure. So by doing wrong practices, people do get disorders. So now, apart from let alone curing the existing disorders, they will get new disorders. Now coming to the Manomaya Kosha purification, we have the meditation process, and we have the Vijnanamaya Kosha purification, the Jnana Yoga, that is Nahan Deho Nendriyanyantarangam Nahankara Pranavargona Buddhi. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the prana, I am not buddhi. Dharapatya kshetra vittadi durasakshi nitya pratyagatma shivoham. So this is Jnana Yoga meditation. To assert that you are not Jiva, but you are Shiva. You are not Atma, but you are Paramatma. Atma is same in Paramatma and Jivatma. That pure Atma is neither Jiva nor Manushya or anything. That is what we have covered in various other texts like Ashtavakra Samhita. You can see my lectures. You are not the body. You are not anything related to the body. You are not the attributes of the body. So once you realize this, again go on telling yourself, who are you then? I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am Satchidananda Swarupa. So this is Jnana Yoga meditation, which is purification of the Vijnanamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha. The Dharma Yoga meditation is for Manomaya Kosha. Because in Dharma Yoga meditation, which I showed you last time, you are observing the thoughts, you are observing these negative emotions, and you are observing to such an extent that when they become weakened, you remove them by force and replace them with the positive, their opposite, like anger with love and greed with charity and opposites. So it neutralizes. So you are freed from the negative emotions. So those negative emotions, when you are freed through Dharma Yoga meditation, that is Manomaya Kosha level purification. So once that is done, then you go to the Vijnanamaya level, which is higher, which is linking directly to the Anandamaya Kosha. There is no need for any purification in the Anandamaya Kosha because the impurities are seeping down only from the Vijnanamaya to Manomaya to Pranamaya to Annamaya. So the Panchakosha Shuddhi is what is an important topic which I have explained to you today. It is not enough if you explain or if you understand what is explained. It has to be practiced. So when it is practiced, you can experience the purification process. You have already been practicing, you might have experienced the purification process. So Panchakosha Shuddhi results in the transcendence of the Ajnana and rediscovering your true nature, which is Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Satchidanandam. So let us now meditate with Om in the same Satchidananda level. Take deep breath. Om. Okay, now we'll open up for interaction session. Feel free to ask any questions. In 2 days, we'll be closing this course also. Can you read out that? Well,
Yeah. does Atma feel the effects of Panchakoshas despite the fact that the Atma is not related to this body?
Yes, a very good question. Actually, Atma has nothing to do with the effects of the impurities in the Panchakoshas. But you are getting conditioned. The self is, I told you 4 sentences. All experience of reality is a conditioning of the consciousness. The self is conditioned. That is like, if you have a pure sheet of water, if you drop one pebble, there will be waves. Those waves are conditioning. Or if you have an electromagnetic field, if there is a metallic object, there will be the field will be distorted. So that conditioning is nothing but distortion, vikaram. So the vikara conditioning will lead to the experience. And all such experiences are nothing but the conditioning only. So I told you the story of that man who was lost in the forest, who refuses to accept the king's son of the king who was lost. After growing up, he refuses to accept that he is the prince. So, because you have got so much carried away with the mind and with the body and impulses and emotions, experiences, etc., you refuse to accept your true nature. And your true nature is Satchidanandam. It is Nirgunam, Nirakaram, Nirvikalpam. I told you the Atma Vivechana, how you can analyze who am I? I am not the body, definitely, because if you are the body, then you should always identify yourself body, which you are not, because in deep sleep, you have forgotten your body. In dream also, you have forgotten your body. And even in meditation, you have forgotten your body. Or even in music absorption, you have forgotten your body. So you are not the body, you are not the mind, because in deep sleep, there is no mind. And in deep meditation also, there is no mind. Mind is having 2 types, that is lower mind and higher mind. Higher mind is called intellect or Vijnanamaya Kosha. Lower mind is Manomaya Kosha. So you can be in trance, or you can be in deep sleep, or you can be in absorption. There is no mind, either lower mind or higher mind. Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, both are. So to realize this is the Atma Vivechana, and practicing this through meditation, you will be able to disconnect. Like in the last few minutes, you all got disconnected from your body and the mind. You are going deep into yourself. So the more you go into yourself, the more you will be reaching your true nature. The more you get carried away, which is normally the case. In another few minutes, once we finish this class, you will know what it means, the power of Maya. So it will take over. The Trigunas, like in the night, Tamoguna will take over. In the daytime, Rajoguna will take over. You cannot stop. Nobody can stop. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durachaya Mamevaye Prabhadyante Maya Veda Tarate. The Trigunatmika Prakriti Maya is so powerful, nobody can stop. Only those who reach me, that means the self, will be able to cross over it. And the whole process of yoga, the efforts of yoga, or even sadhana, all types of sadhana, all types of spiritual sadhanas, including the religious rituals, they're all aiming at the same process. I hope you understood. So that finally the process is to reach your true nature, self-realization. Okay. Next question.
Other question is, what is the opposite of anxiety in Dharma Yoga?
Opposite of anxiety is detached sakshi bhava. That is, I'm not concerned like that. See, if there are some people who get unnecessary anxiety also. Real anxiety is somewhat understandable to some extent. But there are some people who will say, oh, it is raining, what happens, what happens. Or they'll say, oh, it is so hot, what should. So this kind of anxiety is out of obsession. So the opposite of anxiety is disconnection. So detachment. Okay. With detachment, you will get rid of anxiety and get peace. Opposite of anxiety is peace. You have no anxiety. You have peace through detachment. Deha Vimana Pasena Chirumbadha Putraga. You are bound with the false identification with the body. Bodhoham Janakadgena Nikritsa Sukhi Bhava. Shtavakra told Janaka, with the Bodha, with this realization of self, take that sword called Bodha and cut that one bondage, the rope which is binding you. That is the Dehatimana, finding that you are the body. Next question.
There are no questions, and if people have Babu Garu,
Yeah.
there is one more question. Just a minute. If I am Brahman, who experiences Ananda? Is it Brahman? Does Brahman experience the sum total of Ananda and sorrow of whole universe?
No. See, I told you the 5 koshas. Anandamaya kosha is the subtlest and the last. So this kosha means sheath, cover, concentric cylinders. 5 are there. Most outermost is the body, next is prana, next is manas, next is vijnana, next is ananda. Lowermost is ananda. Inside this lowermost cylinder, there is a self, which has no qualities. Nirgunam, nirakaram, nirakara. And that self, I'm not saying Brahman, that is Atman. So your Atman, my Atman, all Atmans are identical in their attributelessness. So the one which is all encompassing, that is Brahman. I am Atma Brahman. So not the individual jiva. Individual jiva is identified with ahankara first, then mamakara, then raga, then dvesha, then kama, krodha, lobha, moha. Seriya? In the Vijnanamaya, Manomaya, and Pranamaya and Annamaya koshas. So that is individual jiva, jivatma. Mamayvamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Jiva is amsha of Ishvara. He is not Ishvara himself. It is not Paramatma itself, it is an amsha of Paramatma. So when you realize this, when you are disconnected, bandha, that is moksha. What is moksha? Moksha is the answer to your question. Moksha is nothing but your disconnection from the bondage with your panchakoshas, including the Anandamaya kosha. Therefore, your question is null and void. It is yourself is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikalpa, Niranjana. It is Brahman. So, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahmatmana Samskriti is not a statement of mental level or intellectual. We are right now operating at the intellectual, mental, or verbal level. That is not intellectual or verbal or mental. It is experiential. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna srutena. Very clearly mentioned. So you have to reach that enlightened state. The third eye is also nothing but enlightened state, if at all. It is really all fake nonsense people talk without knowing what they are talking. And some people do marketing, too much of marketing, to make more and more money out of all things. The very first principle in spirituality is don't run after money. And these gurus, fake gurus or so-called great gurus, they run after money. So what am I to comment about that? So the first principle is don't run after money and give up all desires. Next.
Okay, next question is just a minute. Next question is nowadays we are hearing third eye opening in some enlightened people. Does this happen?
The third eye is nothing but jnana netram. So, in fact, in the 15th chapter, Lord Krishna has also mentioned Vimudha Utkramantam Sthitam Vapi Gunjanam Vagunanvitam Vimudha Nanupashyanti Pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Fools cannot see the entry of the Atman into the body, into the womb of the pregnant woman, and its exit at the time of death. Only Jnana Netra, like I will give you the story of Sharabhanga. Sharabhanga Maharshi was waiting to depart. Indra came to take him to the Svargaloka. He was still not ready to go. He said, "You wait." And Indra was waiting for what? For Rama to arrive. Rama arrived with Lakshmana. Rama saw Indra and Sharabhanga entering into the fire. Lakshmana could not see Indra. So Sharabhanga entered into the fire, physical body, and came out of it with a divine, I think Deva Yoni. They has come out with a different body which is not visible to even Lakshmana. Then he goes away with Indra. This is the description in the Ramayana. So this Rama had the Jnana Netra. So Vimudha Naru Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha. The entry and the exit of the Jivatma into the body can be seen by those who have Jnana Chakshu. And Yatanto Yoginaschavam Pashyanti Atmanyavasthitam Yatanto Aprakrtatmanam Naivam Pashyanti Achetasaha. So Yatis, Yogis will reach that. Commercial bullshitting is all nonsense. So it is not an easy thing. They use all kinds of jargon and to attract disciples and make money out of it. It is not real, it is all fake claims. So the Jnana Netra, which is the third eye, it is actually there for everybody, but it is dormant. It's not a physical eye. So this is Jnana Netra. And that is why Upanayanam, Nayanam means eye. Additional eye. Uparashtrapati, like that, Upanayanam is performed on Brahmopadesham to be able to get Brahma Sakshatkaram ultimately through the Gayatri Upadesham and Sadhana and so on. Long way to go. And the entire Veda Chainam. Brahma means Veda. Brahmopadesham means Veda Chainam. It is Jnana Netram. So what we are reaching at the end of some of our discussions is that level. Just touching it sometimes. The next question.
Whether same bliss can be attained by either by bhakti, jnana, or raja yoga.
All are same. They are only given different names, but the process finally what happens is the same. Ultimately, they all result in the same point. They converge. There is full convergence, and whatever is even karma yoga is also there. Bhakti is considered as similar to karma yoga. Raja yoga, whose part is hatha yoga, which we are going through, is an experiential discovery process of purification leading to higher levels of consciousness. And only when that discovery comes, there will be jnana, not theoretical jnana alone. So a lot of these missionaries like Ramakrishna Mission, Chinmaya Mission, so many mission, Arsh Vidyapit, so many missionaries are there. They are just giving theoretical knowledge. Theoretical knowledge is not adequate. It will be definitely good, but it's not adequate. So self-discovery has to come in through experience. That's why the Kathopanishad says, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna srute. Not by just listening again and again and again or chanting again and again and again. You cannot achieve self-realization. It has to be adhyatma yogenaiva adhigamyam.
Okay.
What is our next question?
When we are chanting the mantra silently deep inside, after some time I'm feeling that the sound is coming from outside the body and I am becoming a witness for that. I am getting confused after some time whether I am doing this chanting. Please guide.
No. You are feeling that the sound is coming from outside. But actually there is no outside sound, right? It is only a feeling. Doesn't matter. What is important is you have to be absorbed. So the purpose of japa, even Gayatri mantra japa and Sandhya or any other mantra, I've got many mantras for many devatas. Like we have the Om Namah Shivaya Shiva Panchakshari. Then we have Om Namo Narayanaya. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Of course, Gayatri mantra is there. Gayatri is also two types, the 3 Vyahrutis and Sapta Vyahrutis. So Sapta Vyahruti Gayatri mantra is very big, and it is the one which is practiced by Maharishis. 3 Vyahruti Gayatri mantra is short form. It is good enough for japa. So Japya Sameta Samadhi Vidhanam Dhruva Mahadavadharam. So in the japa, Japya Sameta Samadhi. So finally you get absorption. That is the signal of success of japa. So get absorbed into yourself, nothingness finally. Sarvashunyam Nirabhasam Samadhis Tasya Lakshana. Nothing means nothing in terms of the mind and the body and the senses and the intellect and so on. Not really nothing. It is Chaitanya. It is everything. Due to the vikara in the Atma Swarupa, all the thought processes, mind, intellectual process, perception through senses, the so-called universe, Jagat, it is all appearing due to vikara in the self. All experience of reality is a conditioning of the consciousness. So what we are trying to do is the unconditioned. The true nature of the reality cannot be known or experienced unless until all conditioning is eliminated. And that elimination of conditioning is the process of yoga. The practices, the sadhanas, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all are aimed only at that. They are all achieving the same result. Okay, next question.
There are no questions further.
Okay, very good. Shall we stop?
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Sir, Atma is indestructible.
Hmm.
At the same time, it is not related to any body.
Hmm.
But it always carries the papas and punyas that the prani does, which Atma has embodied from time to time.
You are giving your own your own theory. That's not the way. It is not what it is. I already just now I have explained.
Sir.
The vasanas, the papa, punya, etc. are carried in the manomaya kosha, not in the atma. So manomaya kosha goes from one body to the other after death. It again assumes another body, enters into another body, carries all the vasanas, papa, punya, and experiences start.
That means, sir, the Atma has panchakoshas always, throughout. Does that mean, sir?
No, except in between two lives. So once death takes place and birth is not yet happened, okay? In between, there is no Annamaya kosha and there is no prana. Only Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and 3 koshas will always be there, except when liberated. Liberated means no koshas, nothing. He is not Jiva anymore, he is Shiva only. So in between whatever state of experience, that is what is called heaven and hell. Tana santoshame swargam, tana dukkhame narakam, in between. So the happiness state in between the two lives is heaven, and the misery state in between two lives is hell. The Jivatma, this is the transmigration of the Jivatma, not the Paramatma. So Jivatma is an Amsha of Paramatma. Maya Amsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashasthani Indriyani Prakritisthani Karshati Shariram Yada Avapnoti Echa Apyutkrayamati Ishvaraha. He has used word Ishvara even for Jivatma because it is Amsha of Jivatma. Amsha of Ishvara. Mamayva Amshaha. So the Panchakosha Shuddhi is a process of removal of all these samskaras, conditionings, both papa, punya, desires, vasanas, impulses, impurities. So if it is complete, as and when it gets completeness of purification, then all the Panchakoshas is settled. You are your own true nature here. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. Not until then. Until then, you are in this samsara chakram going on up and down. Okay.
I think.
Okay,
Okay,
anybody
then
else?
there is the last question. Is it Anandamaya Kosha that carries sorrows?
Well, you are distracted from the Ananda by the sorrows created by the samskaras, vasanas, impulses, experiences, conditionings happening in the Vijnanamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, and Annamaya koshas. Like, for example, I hit something with my Annamaya, with my hand or leg. Then I will feel the pain. Yes or no? So what will I do? I have to experience the pain. But how long? It will not be there forever. After some time, the pain will go away. In the same way, all the experiences in life are not permanent. They are all temporary, both good and bad. They all come and go away. So you have to be observant. That's why titiksha is one of the essential requirement in sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Tolerance, forbearance. And even in the second chapter of Gita, he has said that matras parshasta kaunteya sitoshna sukhadukha agamapaino anicca tam titikshasva bharata yamhina vyadayante te purusham purusharshabha sama dukha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpate. These two slokas are explaining the entire thing. The matras and sparshas, the impulses coming out of the external world to the body, to the senses, or to the mind, they are causing sukha and dukkha. Sukha is different from ananda. Please distinguish. I think some of you must get confused between sukha and ananda. Sukha dukkhas are dvandvas which are coming through the impulses. Ananda is not a dvandva. So, matras, parshas, kaunteya, sukha dukkha, they are causing sukha dukkha. So, titikshasva, you tolerate them, you bear with them, forbear. We all born all kinds of pains, sufferings, because they will go away after some time. Titikshasva, and a person who is capable of withstanding the dualities, pain, pleasure, happiness, unhappiness, hunger, or fullness, or heat and cold, only he is fit. Matras prashasta kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agamapaino anicca tam tikshasva bharata yam hina vyadhayantyate purusham purusharsha sama dukha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpate. Only a person who is capable of withstanding with equanimity all the dualities is fit for amrutatva, immortality, higher level of pure self-realization.
Okay. Then other question is, when it is Nirakara and Nirvikalpa, how can it have characteristic of Chidananda?
Chidananda is nothing but saying the Nirguna Nirvikara. So pure chit, it's not chitta. Pure consciousness chit is nothing but Nirvikara, Nirguna, Nirvikalpa. You are making a wrong interpretation.
Understood,
of
Guruji.
Ananda.
No. When you said Ananda, Sukha, Dukkha is not the same, then I
Yes.
understood. Dhanyavad, Guruji.
Next.
The next, why scholars say that Ananda exists in our own self, where we feel ecstasy in getting material comforts.
Yeah, you see, if Ananda is not existing within yourself, though you are connecting with wrongly, falsely connecting with material items. For example, some people may think that if I do this, say eat ice cream, then I'll feel Ananda. It's only Sukha is getting. Because after 5 minutes, that will be lost, finished. Suppose you take one more ice cream, you will not get the same amount of sukha which you got in the first ice cream. Third one will be even less, fourth is less, fifth is less. Finally, you don't want ice cream. It will become dukkha instead of sukha. So all these material objects, including a house or a car. So a lot of people think if you build a house, you become they are more liberated. So there are people who have built many houses and they are suffering out of each house. So similarly, people think once they get a son, they will be achieving highest, but soon they will realize that same son will become a pain, a cause of misery. So these are sukha dukkhas are always there. So Sitoshna sukha dukkhas, matra sparshastra kondeya, sitoshna sukha dukkha, agamapa, anitya. He has used the word agamapa. That means they are mischievous. And anitya, they are temporary. Therefore, tam tidikshasva, both dualities, you just tolerate with equanimity. And if you are having maturity to tolerate with equanimity, then you are fit for higher level of spiritual evolution and spiritual life, not otherwise.
Okay. That's the end of questions, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now, if no other questions, let us thank Prabhu Garu for today's class. Thank you, sir, on behalf of everybody. Now let us do Prarthana. Surya Prakash Garu.
సార్ నమస్తే సార్. సార్ ప్రభు సార్ ధన్యవాదాలు సార్, చాలా 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 విషయాలు చెప్పినందుకు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. స్వస్తి ప్రజాభ్య పరిపాలయంతాం న్యాయేన మార్గేణ మహీమహీసాః గోబ్రాహ్మణేభ్య స్వమస్తు నిత్యం లోకా సమస్తాః సుఖినో భవంతు కాలే వర్షతు పర్జన్యః పృథ్వీ సస్యశాలిని దేశోऽयं క్షోభరహితः బ్రాహ్మణాः సంతు నిర్భయాः అపుత్రాः పుత్రిణः సంతు పౌత్రిణः అదనాः సదనాः సంతు జీవంతు శరదాం శతం సత్యం వద ధర్మం చర స్వాధ్యాయాన్ మా ప్రమదః సర్వే భవంతు సుఖినః సర్వే సంతు నిరామయాః సర్వే భద్రాణి పశ్యంతు మా కశ్చిత్ దుఃఖభాగ్ భవేత్. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతిః. పూర్ణమదః పూర్ణమిదం పూర్ణాత్ పూర్ణముదచ్యతే పూర్ణస్య పూర్ణమాదాయ పూర్ణమేవావశిష్యతే. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతిః. సర్వేభ్యః ధన్యవాదः. సర్వే జనాः సుఖినో భవంతు. స్వస్తి.
ధన్యవాదములండి.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్.
Suryaprakash Garu. Now, let us recite Janagana Mana, national anthem. All of you please stand up and recite along with Chalva Chitbabu Garu. Chalva Chitbabu Garu.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Jai Hind.
जय हिंद.
ధన్యవాదములండి. చల్లా చిట్టుబాబు గారు.